Right, so this is my test rod. A better word beneath. Well, best way to describe it, I suppose. So I've turned that down. If you see, I've got a dial indicator here. Tell me how much I've turned it down. So I can take that off now. I don't know if you can see, but there it's reading 0. There it's reading 0 on the calipers. There it's reading 0.04, and up here it's reading 0.09. So we're less than 0.1 of a mil deviation between there and pretty much the end of the workable distance of the lathe. So that's pretty good. Obviously we only tend to use that much. So at this point we are 0.04. So that's a adequate deviation for what we are doing. Sort that light out again because everything moved as I took the lathe apart. I can't. That'll do. So yeah, we can take this rod out now. Might have to take it at the back rather than front. Yeah, so you can see how much I've turned off there. Not a lot. I think it worked out to be about 0.4 mil. So yeah, my piece of measuring equipment has stopped working. So that's this bit here and this bit under here. So the readout is just fried basically. I don't know what's wrong with it. Changed the fuse, changed the wire. I've done everything I can, so it's going to have to go back and get a replacement. So you're going to have to do things the old-fashioned way, which is lots of measuring, which is going to slow things down. Got an order here, obviously with the identifying information blacked out. So we are going black ice abalone from Turnt, which is quite a nice blank. Which is this one here. That is going to be made into an Aphrodite, which is going to be slim. It's going to have a roll stop on it, which is going to be a star. It's going to be a box, and it's going to have a box to go with it. So we'll start by making a section. You've seen me make loads of these. Well, if you've watched, you've seen me make these before. I had to have a big move around because when I had to take the lathe apart, so all of this got taken off. Basically what happened at the end of the last stream that I did, this got jammed probably about there and just wouldn't go back. As you can see now, it's no longer jammed. So how I fixed that was by dismantling all of this and taking off the scales, taking off the tool post, taking off this slide, taking off this bit, the yellow bit that you can just about see, taking off these bits that clamp this yellow bit to this, flipping that down, and basically forcing it along that way so that it was no longer jammed. And then under here there's a sacrificial bit that helps too much damage being caused to the gearbox. So that was checked. I then checked the gearbox to see whether there was any damage in there. Luckily there was none. Let's refill it with oil. I checked the entire length of the lead screw, and then flip this back up, re-lubed everything, put everything back together. It's a bit stiffer than it was before, but yeah, I think I might have tightened things up a little bit too much, but we'll see how it goes. That needs a little bit more oomph to go back and forth, but it doesn't snap the sacrificial bit in the lead screw, so it's fine. And like I said, the deviation on the lathe is fine. In fact, it's better than it was before, so I've done something right. Now, like I said, I cannot do the proper measuring as I did before, so it's back to using the measurement on the wheels, which isn't as accurate, which is a pain in the backside. So it's going to evolve. Lots of that. Luckily, that was how I started out, so I haven't always had the DRO. I'm going to check things more. It's not going to be just blind trusting the measurements, as I have done, got in the habit of. As you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but I've marked it so I can see an orange line when it's up to speed. So that's how far I'm going to turn. This is the first turning that I've done apart from that bit of metal. That's going to look fast. So yeah, there are a set of gears behind here, A, B and C. A is the fastest. This is currently in C. So I need to make sure that that is right. So that should be 34 millimeters. It's just nearest, damn it. Yeah, that'll do. So now I need to get this down. Right, hopefully we should be able to get this closest damn it to the right diameter relatively easily. Like I said, this is how I started doing it, so it's not really. I've had the DRO less than a year. In fact, I'm expecting a phone call from their office telling me what to do and get a replacement. So we'll have to keep that close to hand. We have 3 mil. Okay. And 0 this. And we'll go down 2. So it should be at. Yep. We need to go down 1 more. Okay, so turn that down because we need to do another measurement. So this needs to be, start off by taking off 1 mil so we can zero this again. Now I don't have the DRO, there'll be a lot more hand turning rather than relying on the auto slide. Another, the auto lead screw. Well, I just make up these terms, I don't know what they are. Yep, alright. Okay, so we are down to the right diameters on that. So in the process of fixing the lathe, I broke my chisel that I normally keep down here. I obviously my finger waving around over there. So I normally had a chisel down here. Unfortunately, not chisel, file. I'm always calling them chisels because I'm an idiot. That is the remains of it. I tried to lever the this to get it free. Didn't work. Surprise, surprise. However, I have stuck part of the file down there so I can still use it to file off those bits. So, not too bad. Right, what does he want? Does he want short. Okay, so it doesn't matter which end we put the guide, center guide in. Now, do we do this first, or do I just get on with that? Tell you what, we shall take off a few layers of that to make sure that what the guiding rod told us is true, and whether the difference in material means that it may not turn as accurate as the metal did. Because the metal was quite thick and wasn't going to move anywhere. This is plastic or resin, which generally have a bit more play in moving when you're turning it. So we are starting out at 19.5. So we'll turn off the mill. That will expose what's going on underneath all this black. And we'll see. Let's go from there. This is the first time I've used this particular blank. I've used a lot of turnt stuff before. Generally they're really good. And see what happens with this one. From the outside it looks quite nice. It's going to be interesting to see what the lathe's doing. I can feel there it's got a little wobble because it's not. I think there was a slight bend in the blank, which happens all the time. As long as you've got your end pieces in line, so there and there, when you turn it, it'll come out straight. Run it back. You can see there's still a lot more. There's a lot of black in it still up here, especially there. But the further we go into the blank, the more the pattern will come out and the more the colours will change. So if there's a lot of blank and it comes into a sort of points towards the centre, the further you go in towards the centre, the less black you'll have. So there you go, there's that big black bit that was showing up. Right, moment of truth. Fingers crossed. So we are at 0 there. We are at 0.1 there. We are at 0.03 there. So yeah, that wobble has basically caused a very slight bulge in the middle. Nothing too bad. As we go down, it may get worse as the material gets thinner, and that just wants to basically move like that as the tool's going past. Right. No, don't want it to be 0. I want to actually measure it. So we're at 18. We're at 18. So that needs to go down a few more mil. That was my wife. I don't know whether you heard that. She was just asking about the DRO, which is cream crackers. Right. Um, 17. So what I tend to do is I will turn it down to maybe what, half a mil um, above what I need, so that when I've got to sand it, polish it, I've got that leeway of half a mil. So I know that I can take off those that amount of material if need be. I can't get my words out today. So we are going to make this as quickly as we can. I've already turned down the section ready for making. So with this, I've just got to drill it and thread it. This is for the barrel and cap. So I'm noticing we've got, that's not exactly smooth. I don't know what's causing that. So a little trick that I've learned is when you're turning stuff down and you've got this big bit in the chuck, what you can do is just put some steps in before the large bit, so that basically when you turn that bit off, if it's a large bit going down to a very thin bit, sometimes the very last bit will snap off rather than turning off, which will leave a big dent in your material. So if you put a few steps in, it will have that, it will turn off better, and you'll get a better finish on that end bit. I think it's only going to be a short one today, we'll finish in a bit. Because my I'm a bit distracted. Um, Mentally, I'm very unwell, and we'll leave it there. Alright, so we need to now turn it down about 0.5. If we zero this again, 0.5 should be then. Right, maybe the end should give us an indication. Nope, that is not 0.5. What is this? This is what I mean by the digital readout being worth its weight in gold. Now that might have decided which end's the barrel. What is that? Yeah. Right, so that black has got more. So we are going to have a very dark pen on this one. Flip it around. Turn off this bit at the end here. From what I was talking about earlier, you can see that there is no break, there's no indentation on there. There's just a bit of a step. We can get rid of that with sandpaper quite easily. Getting rid of a trough around the entire pen is a pain in the backside. But yeah, this one's now ready to be portioned up into cap and barrel and then turned down into a pen. And we'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, thank you and take care.